So here's our Kentucky Derby contenders top 10 list and for January 22nd. And we're going to do this throughout the trail, and we will update it as the significant preps are run. And we'll go from 10 on up. And number 10, we're going to Catching Freedom, I think, is logical. Had a good Smarty Jones. And 89 Buyer is a little suspect at this point, but he looks like he's moving forward. He's back. He's had two solid races in a row, and looks to be progressing. And I think he has the right running style for the Derby as well. Under Brad Cox, he should be improving. Track Phantom is solid, but not spectacular, I think. I'd want to see him do it against better competition. That Lecomte Stakes was disappointing, to say the least, and he didn't do anything wrong, and he hasn't so far. He continues to progress, so Track Phantom, I think, is one that we have to consider. Liberal Arts, I really like the street sense. He's been is on that forward progression. He's getting better as the competition is. So you have to like that. He did have pace to run to in that race, and that's a little bit of a concern that he may need that type of scenario. But all signs are indicating that he is progressing, and I think there's some things to like there. Timberlake hasn't done much wrong. Had a nice, solid 2-year-old campaign. Would have liked to have seen a little better effort in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, but still, he is a solid Derby contender. No reason to discount him at this point. Muth, we'll see where he goes. If he goes to Oaklawn, I think we can consider his chances to be more significant. Running out in California, he's not going to go against much this year. So if they leave him out there, then that tells me that maybe Barford perhaps has some reservations about him being a true Derby horse. However, he's under Baffert's care. He's shown some potential, and he did run a good Breeders' Cup Juvenile, albeit at Santa Anita, his home track. But Muth, I think, is one that we have to consider. Sierra Leone and Dornoch, who can forget that Remsen? It was just an awesome race. And Sierra Leone, in only his second start, moving into a graded stakes race to put in that kind of effort, ran against what was kind of a speedy track. And so that upgrades him a little further. I think he's got everything that you want in a Derby contender, and I'm really excited to see what he does in his next start. Same with Dornoch. We know he has the pedigree. He's been Mage's full brother, last year's winner. Ran a great race in the Remsen, showed a lot of grit. He has been running against good competition at Saratoga and elsewhere, and he seems to be getting it. And if we recall that Mage did not run it too, so maybe that's a good sign for Dornoch that he's a little ahead of the curve. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next as well. The Wine Steward I would have loved to have seen in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, but this one shows grit, and he doesn't back away from a fight. You have to love that. He's a little light speed-wise, but who knows? He can progress forward. It's very possible, and I think right now he's an awful good prospect for the Derby. Locked ran again in Santa Anita. You can kind of discount or give him a little bit of a pass because it is a speed-favoring track, but this one it showed some great acceleration throughout the course of his 2-year-old campaign. He ran a great Breeders' Futurity, showed grit, and he's got that acceleration that you just love to see. I really like Locked moving forward for the Derby. Fierceness, who can forget the Breeders' Cup Juvenile? I mean, just awesome. He demolished that field. If that's any indication of what he's going to do at 3, that's your Derby winner right there. He did have that little bit of a clunker in the Champagne Stakes, so there's a little bit of reservation about him, but Todd Pletcher looks fully loaded for this year's Derby, and Fierceness is certainly the one to beat at this stage of the game.